See what ASD is all about this year. It's gonna be exciting for sure.
My name is Travis Vosika with StockUpUSA, and today I'll be speaking about velocity in cash conversion and how to leverage email networks and how to integrate the universal principles of business into this market. I hope you enjoyed the keynote, and we'll see you at the end. Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to speak for everyone today. I've been in the e-commerce space for 22 years, and I've been doing liquidation and closeout for 17 years. So through my time, I've been able to target, pillars of sustainability in this space. One being velocity, and then two, how universal principles of business apply to this market. So I want to ask everyone a few questions. In business, where do you deploy your energy? Do you deploy it towards precise focal points that lead to growth? Or is it scattered around and your business becomes about maintenance, and your place in your business becomes about maintenance? Are you growing too slow? Are you growing too fast? Or are you on path with proper business growth? Okay, so what I'm here to do today is provide a resonance of alignment for you to decide where to deploy your resources. Liquidation and closeouts, they're a market fueled by natural attraction to the space. When we dip our toes in, we start going, we can turn around and leverage that attraction. I'm gonna talk about a few things today. I'm gonna talk about velocity and how it applies to sales, inventory turnover, and funding. I'll discuss universal principles and more. Deeply rooted in our space, we see pre-existing email networks that can be 10 to 30,000 buyers and sellers strong. Okay, these are different than your standard email chains that are just an offering. Email networks, they're a platform for you not only to buy on, but for you to sell on as well. So when you get in touch with these networks, you have the ability to source through them, but then you can turn around and sell through networks as well. This helps increase your velocity. It helps give you a digital platform to buy and sell on. It's very unique to our market, and it's a very added value thing to most companies in the space. So I won't discuss what email networks I buy and sell on, but it's truly not that hard to find them. Okay, I was speaking to a company last night, and they see emails from these networks every day. But what they didn't see is that they can turn around and they can leverage those networks to sell on as well. If you're buying for pallet sales or truckload sales, you can get stuck with a death pile of merchandise. So what the goal is to convert it to cash and to have platforms where you can turn around. Okay, so let me discuss velocity and its economic definition. It's the rate at which cash changes hands in an economy. So my goal is I like to help people speed that up. I'm a revenue growth accelerator. So my goal is to help, your average sales is how you can increase that frequency and increase that velocity. And it can happen very quickly. I want to ask everybody a question. What business are you truly in? What business are you truly in? Are you in bin sales? Are you in pallet sales? Are you in e-commerce? Or are you in something much greater than all of that? Just because you're a retail store, just because you're an e-commerce seller, doesn't mean you can't tap in to wholesaling, to volume selling, and increasing your gross revenues. And I'll get into a bit how that not only helps with net revenues, but that's gonna also apply to funding and how you can grow all of your channels. I like to ask people what are your goals? And success is not just getting to that end goal. Success is meeting the daily goals set in place towards the end goal. By doing that, we can all experience success every single day. Velocity, in its general definition, is the speed of something in a given direction. So this is the direction you set your company a sail. And that's why it's so important to have a full circle business plan. Because once you start moving, you're gonna need that plan and you're gonna need a direction to go. And that's one of the reasons we all need to stick together, is because do any of us really know where we're going? We need to stick together in case one of us gets there. And when you have a business plan, it's so important to shoot for the stars. Because once your business plan starts working, your only regret is gonna be not shooting high enough in the first place. This is where universal principles of business come in. 5 years ago, I had the chance to work with Rhythm, formerly known as Channel Advisor. They turned me on to the concept of velocity. After that, I had the opportunity to get traditional business training. Now, the traditional business training is what 10x'd my business. It wasn't just learning fundamentals of our specific market, it was learning core principles of business. And what we see in this market is fueled by natural attraction. There's people who witness or are invited to this space. You see a high frequency business model, and a lot of people dive right in. A lot of people are diving right in without traditional business training. So the more and more people can take a few steps back into their power, write a pathway to success, it's going to greatly enhance your chances of succeeding. And that's what I work with my clients and my customers on every single day, is how do we integrate traditional business principles. Not only what we're learning in this space, how to move product, who suppliers are, but how can you take knowledge from far outside of this space and integrate it right here. So one of my main messages I send is write a business plan. Only 3% of businesses in the United States have business plans. Only half of that 3% act on their business plans day to day. Velocity from a traditional sales perspective is number of opportunities times deal values times win rates divided by the length of a sales cycle. I'll kind of recap. We got velocity in an economic definition. How quickly money changes hands in an economy. Okay, velocity in its general definition is the speed of something in a given direction. Velocity from a traditional sales perspective is how quickly a prospect customer moves through your sales pipeline and generates revenue. So this is more for the dealers, the truckload sellers out here. Velocity from a traditional sales perspective is number of opportunities times deal value times win rate divided by the length of a sales cycle. Number of opportunities times deal value times win rate divided by the length of a sales cycle. And how do you calculate win rates? You choose a sales period, divide by the total number of sales, choose a sales period, divide total sales by total number of deals, multiply it by 100. Actual equation of velocity doesn't mean as much as the concept of velocity. It's how are we going to speed up our operations? How are we going to convert product to cash quicker? Okay, there's so many ways to do this. Sometimes the maximum sales potential of a product is actually going to be less than you paid in this market. So the goal is you need to constantly be converting your product to cash. We can't let inventory stay stale, or it's gonna keep adding additional costs, taking up space. So you gotta pump product. One of the things I've noticed, companies here that are connected to high frequency auction networks, high frequency auction platforms are very successful in this space. Because you can have a retail store, you can bring product in and it's gonna sit. You're gonna have some stuff that moves fast and you're gonna have some stuff that sits. Okay, with high frequency auctions, you can get a full-on cash conversion for a semi-load every single week, and you're gonna have a really true resale rate. You're gonna know if it's working, and you're gonna know if it's not working. Okay, so velocity can apply to many things. It can apply to performance metrics, it can apply to funding, and it can apply to inventory turnover. So the metric for inventory velocity turnover is just cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. And so what I'm getting to here is velocity can apply to every facet of your business. With inventory velocity, it's usually SKU specific. So usually inventory velocity is applied to a single SKU, and you know that exact velocity for that SKU. So I've broken it down a few times with 1,000 SKU truckloads, and it's the same type of data. You're able to see what your sell-through rates are on your truckloads. Everything has some sort of metric, something attached to it, whether it's a product, whether it's a pallet, whether it's a truckload. I came up with the term, I call it product fractal, okay? So it's every product or deal you have, it's gonna have something attached to it that's gonna, the rate at which it sells, how quickly you need to move it, at what cost. So the goal is, how do we convert these deals to cash at the maximum potential, at the maximum selling rate, which might be lower in dollar value than you want to get, but the speed of selling quicker is gonna give more value. That's why I chose to talk about velocity today, because once I learned about the term velocity in this market, a lot of questions started getting answered for me. I was able to increase sales tenfold, and I was able to look at my business in a completely new way. 4 years ago, I got a business coach. I'd been running in this space for years without much success. I got a guy from far outside of the space that didn't even know what this market was. Within 1 year, I was able to convert my business from 250,000 gross to 10 million. And that is simply by integrating traditional business principles and how they apply here. One of my favorite ones is the ability to turn crisis into creative opportunity. It applies so much to this market because we all run into crisis every single day. So yeah, just turn crisis into creative opportunity. And then I learned to live in a state of gratitude. I learned to be super grateful for my bad days, when I wasn't even grateful for my good days before. So when you live in that state of gratitude and you can turn crisis into creative opportunity, you're unstoppable in this space. You can grow, you can scale. You know, what I've been able to target is pillars of sustainability. You know, I like to ask people, are you chasing success or are you chasing sustainability? Because sustainability is truly boundless success. This is what we can wake up every day in a sustainable business and know we're gonna have that business tomorrow. We're gonna keep growing. And so I talk a lot about, you know, it's actually quite recent I've been talking more about sustainability opposed to success. Only 3% of businesses in the United States, only 3% have business plans. Only half of that 3% act on those business plans day to day. If you integrate that and you integrate a business plan, it's gonna give you a serious edge in this market. And again, I'm gonna reiterate, it's so important to shoot for the stars because once your plan starts working, your only regret's gonna be not shooting high enough in the first place. And there's only one thing more important than a business plan, and that is believing in that plan. So just a few other things, you know, if you're going through a hard time in your business, just keep going. So sometimes our level up in business is gonna come when times are the absolute hardest. So if you're going through tough times, keep going. You know, you're almost there. We always have the invitation and the option to allow what is happening in this market to show up exactly as it is. We can allow the bad days. We can allow the good days. We can allow the stressful customers. And we can just honor that moment in our business, how it shows up every day. And we can live in a higher state, in a higher frequency in our business. See, the thing about when you can increase your natural attraction, you're naturally going to attract people who need you and who need your service to continue growing their business and to continue growing their wealth. There's a quote, riches are confusing because when they come, it's almost like they came out of nowhere. And that's when you realize that you've been helping people either save money or make money, and they're gonna continue to need you to gain that wealth or to keep saving. One of my other favorite quotes, when you run through the flames of fear in business, you'll burn off everything that's not your highest power. I know Kyle talked about, he made the choice not to live in fear. And so when we can take a quantum leap, push through fear, push through that, then it's gonna burn that off. It's gonna burn off what's not serving you. It's gonna burn off what's not serving your business. During my time with Rhythm, they had told me, they're like, Travis, we know success is driven by knowing how and when to pivot in a market shift. Okay, this market has a very unique frequency. It has its own ebb and flow, ocean wave effect. Okay, so the market shifts are happening all the time. You know, popular belief is, you know, product's hard to find, it's up in price. But the truth is, when the market shifts like that, those are the biggest opportunities for growth. So I'm gonna just keep recapping. When we can live in gratitude, be grateful for our bad days and our good days, when we can learn how to turn crisis into creative opportunity, and when we can embrace and leverage a market shift, these are the points that lead to an unstoppable business.
And that's a wrap for episode 4. Travis Vosika talking about using velocity as a core metric for your business. Check out the rest of the speaker series here and the rest of the Nice Find Wholesale YouTube channel right here.